Hi, and welcome back to the Bible story series. We took some time and looked at the first story of the first two people who were created, Adam and Eve, and how distrust just made sin come into their world. But let me go on with where life picked on after Adam and Eve had been punished by God and cast out of the garden because of their sin. Adam and Eve got two sons. The first one was called Cain, and Cain loved farming. He was your typical farmer, but of crop, not animal. And so he had lots of fruit plants and grain and things like those. And then they got a second born called Abel, and Abel was your normal livestock farmer. And one can imagine that both Cain and Abel must have known the story of this God who their father and mother worshipped, of this God who had cast them father and mother out of the garden. And one believes that because at a point you see Cain and Abel giving sacrifices to this God in worship of God. But you see, one of the days when they were taking their sacrifices, Cain for some reason felt as though giving to this God was too much. He was asking of too much. And so he just gave any fruit, not the best fruit, but just any fruit. And Abel brought his best livestock and the most fattened meat. You know that meat you just want to roast and enjoy, and he chose, rather than enjoying that, to give that to the Lord. And so he releases it, and God looks upon Cain's offering with detest as compared to Abel's, and he seems to prefer Abel's offering, and he seems to love it. And so Cain gets sad, and one can wonder why. It's not like you gave your best. Why are you sad? And God looks at Cain and asks him, why are you sad? Why are you disappointed? If you had done what was right, wouldn't I have looked upon your sacrifice with favor? And so Cain decides, you know what? The simple solution here is not to give to the Lord what is the Lord's. It's not to give what is best to God's. But it's to build up on an already problematic situation where sin and my own selfishness had caused me not to give what is best to God by killing my brother. Eliminate the problem. And so one day as they're out farming, Cain decides to jump upon his bro and he kills him. And after that God greatly punishes both Cain and his whole generation of descendants. And the reason why this is a big deal for us is that we need to realize that all of us, there's a big word here I'm about to use, are inherently sinful. We are born sinners. It doesn't matter whether we come from a good family. It doesn't matter whether we come from a family that will tell us about God. Is that we are born sinners. And the only way out is to allow something to come into us and transform our state of sin so that we can live lives free of sin. I have seen even children at a very young age begin to choose sin, even when no one has taught them. One of the easiest things for you and I to do, the thing that comes defaultly easy for us, is to sin. And so if we are so desperately wicked, how do we change the course of our lives? How do we free ourselves from this wickedness? And Jesus Christ is the answer. He came that not only may he save us from the consequences of this sin, but that he may wash us free of this sin. And so my plea to you today is that you give yourself a chance to know this Jesus who would be able to free you from the inherent sin in you, but also the consequences, the wages of that sin, which is death.